Welcome back to the Pre-Snap Podcast, your top NFL player prop bets for Wildcard Weekend. We are focusing in on the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a great game. Alongside me to break it down is Tyler Wiemann, and I'm Shannon Sommerville. We've got some great player prop bets for you, plus touchdown calls, and we'll take a look at the overall numbers and the sides and tell you which way we're leaning in this one. But should be a good game, a rematch of that Week 1 game in Brazil. The Packers going up against the Eagles. Tyler, what do you think about this matchup?
This is a good one. There's definitely some fun offensive firepower in this one.
Love it. And the Eagles right now are 4.5-point favorites in this one at home at Philadelphia. Should be a good one. We'll take a look at the weather and the injury report because both are very important in handicapping. I'm just glad there's no real weather conditions. This is actually perfect weather for football, so looking forward to that. Just a little bit chilly out there, 38 degrees, sunny skies though, and low winds. So love that forecast for us in Philadelphia. And from an injury perspective, nothing too crazy to really report. I don't usually put limited players on the report here, but Jordan Love, I thought it was just at least worth noting. He is dealing with a bit of an elbow injury. He was listed as limited in practice for the Packers in this one. And of course, Christian Watson did not practice. He's dealing with that knee injury, so likely out in this game. For the Eagles, A.J. Brown was limited, but that's mostly, I think, due to rest. He should be good to go. Jalen Hurts should be passing through concussion protocol and dealing with a left finger injury. But so far, I think that those injury reports are actually pretty good when you look at the full picture of things. So I think we can go ahead and dive into our player prop bets. By the way, our picks are all available in places like Underdog, Sleeper, CHALKBOARD, and ParlayPlay. We have links to those apps below. And if you'd like to download them for the first time, make sure to use the promo code LineStar. That way you'll get a nice deposit match. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of the LineStar app. And the LineStar app is exactly what we use every day on this show to help us find the best value in the prop market. The tool is specifically called the PropsAI tool. It's a great tool. It actually has specific tabs for Underdog, FanDuel, whatever site you're working with, so you can see what LineStar's projections are compared to what the line is out there. It's a pretty cool tool. Check it out for yourself at LineStarApp.com. And do us a huge favor before we dive into our preview for this game. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. It enters you into our Prop Bets contest because, hey, we don't just talk about the props, we also put our money behind them. So if we go 3-0, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. Got to be in it to win it. So let's get after it. All right, we're going to start off in this matchup with a Packers player prop bet. And we're going to go with Jayden Reed over 42.5 receiving yards. As you can see, LineStar in the consensus projections, both are endorsing the over here. Reed's averaging just over 50 receiving yards per game. And yes, I know this is going to be a very tough matchup for Jayden Reed going up against a pass defense that's very good at limiting explosive plays. In fact, they lead the league at preventing them. They're also second in EPA per drop back against throws, 20 or more air yards. So this is a tough spot here for Jayden Reed. But I think if there's any path to success here for the Packers, they're going to have to find some of their receivers down the field in this one. Opposing receivers have been able to rack up yards against this Eagles defense. Philadelphia 24th in pass defense DVOA versus wide receiver ones. We have seen some get to this Eagles defense. So I think this is a low number here at 42.5 for Reed, and one we can take advantage of. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, and Jayden Reed is kind of a weird hybrid, right? Like he is the number one option, but he's more of a slot guy. And that type of receiver we've actually seen do pretty well recently versus Eagles. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson just did all right versus him. A few weeks ago, Zacchaeus had 2 touchdowns and 70 yards. That type of, more slot guy has had some success, and most likely this Packers team is going to have to throw versus that Eagles D. So I like Reed. The line's low, and he has some big playability. So let's go.
All right. So Jayden Reed is one. Now Tyler and I are each going to pick our favorite prop of the night. So what are you rolling with in this game of Packers-Eagles?
I'm going to roll with Dallas Goedert over 34.5 receiving yards. Our LineStar projections 41.3. The consensus is 38.8. He's averaging 49.6 yards a game. The passing for that offense really just goes through three guys, and Goedert is one of them. Green Bay has been around league average to the tight end, and pass catching tight ends have actually done decently. Hawkinson 68, Laporta 54 over the last couple weeks. So, Goddard is in more of that category than the other, more blocking category of tight ends. So I like Dallas Goedert to go over in this spot.
And you've got to think, too, from the Packers' defensive perspective, they're going to put a lot of guys on A.J. Brown to kind of limit that explosiveness in their passing game. So I like the option here to use Goedert in those situations, those passing situations, and he's been a great option for Jalen Hurts there. So I really like that play as well. For my player prop bet, I got to go to the man, Saquon Barkley. We're going over on his receiving yards, though. Over 11.5 receiving yards. I think this is the play here. LineStar's projection and the consensus are to the over. Saquon's averaging 17 receiving yards per game. And yes, he is going up against a very good Packers defense. They are allowing 37.8 receiving yards per game to running backs, though. That's 27th in the NFL. And when I looked through how they've kind of fared against Green Bay, running backs have actually gone over 11.5 receiving yards in 9 of Green Bay's last 10 games. If you want to go through the list here with me, let's just go right ahead. Aaron Jones had 30, Kendre Miller had 16, Zach Charbonnet 12, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery both had over 30 receiving yards against the Packers. Devon Achane, 56, CMC, 37. DeAndre Swift had 13, David Montgomery, 23, and Dearness Johnson had 20. I think Barkley can get there, and I think there may be some situations where they drop a couple plays for him. And he really only needs just like one reception to go over this with how dynamic he is. He can hurdle people, whatever he needs to do to get those yards. He did have 23 receiving yards back in week 1 against them. And I know this is going to be a totally different situation, but I still like Saquon Barkley. I think that 11.5 receiving yards line just might be a little bit too low for him. We just basically need, 1 or 2 receptions to clear this. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, I'm never going to say no to a Barkley prop in general,
anything over.
But this line is super low. He beat it week 1 when they faced. He beat this most weeks of the season. He just needs a couple targets to go his way, really. And one catch in a little bit open space, which that's what they're always trying to do with him when they're throwing in the ball. So.
And I like his rushing yards line for me is just a little bit too high. I know it's 100, which he can easily clear. We know what he's capable of, but I'm still a little weary of it. So that's why I'm kind of pivoting to the receiving yards. I think this is a little bit more backed up by the results as we've seen other running backs do week in and week out. So those are the 3 that we are rolling with. By the way, if you've got any locks for us, please drop them in the comments below. We're all here to help each other out and beat the books on this wild card weekend. But those are the 3 we're rolling with on Underdog. Again, subscribe, comment below for your chance at $50. If we go 3-0, which I'm feeling these picks, I like them for us. But now it's time for our anytime touchdown calls of the game. So Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown in this one?
For my anytime touchdown, I got to go with Jalen Hurts at -120. He has 14 touchdowns this year rushing. He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year rushing. They love using Hurts around the goal line, and I guarantee you in the playoffs, they're going to go right back to that. Let's get a tush-push TD.
Yeah, brotherly shove for the win here. Love it. Okay, for mine, I'm also going with an Eagles player. We're actually going to Devonta Smith. When I saw the price tag here at +200, I love the value that we're getting here. He's got 8 touchdowns on the year and 7 red zone targets the last 8 weeks. Keep in mind that A.J. Brown just had 2 more. He's had 9 red zone targets in that span. So the +200 for a guy that's getting just 2 less than A.J. Brown, sign me up, especially when you consider that Green Bay, the red zone scoring defense hasn't been great. They're 20th in that category. Plus, Green Bay has allowed 15 touchdowns to wide receivers this season. And you got to think the game plan for the Packers is to just blanket A.J. Brown in this one, put Jair Alexander on him. That could open up a lot of opportunity for Devonta Smith in the red zone. So I like the price tag that we're getting him, +200. Give me Devonta Smith for an anytime touchdown. Let's go. If you've got any locks for us in the anytime touchdown department, drop them in the comments below. Let's take a look at the overall big picture of this matchup. The Eagles 4.5-point favorites in this one. The over under 46.5. Actually, that's now 45.5, moved down just a little bit. Any thoughts on this matchup, Tyler?
Oh, man. I think Eagles win this game. 5 points is a lot for a playoff game. Total wise, I think it goes over. It's hard for me to say Packers plus points, but I like Eagles to win the game.
Yeah, I definitely like the Eagles in this one, and I actually don't mind them to cover that spread at 4.5. I think they just have such a dynamic offense, and it's just so hard to stop an offense that has Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, all the offensive playmakers. And then you look at the Packers, and I feel like they're kind of lacking in terms of their playmakers. They've struggled at times. Jordan Love has struggled at times this season, and also his health is a bit of a question mark heading into this one. Christian Watson not being there, I think that'll be a detriment to them for sure. Defensively, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they decide to attack this Eagles offense. But either way, from what I've seen so far this season, I got to back the Eagles in this spot, and especially Saquon Barkley. They rested him last game. He didn't get to break the record, so I think they're going to be saving him up for this one, and he's going to go full beast mode in this game. So that's kind of how I'm reading it. If you've got any other, different reads on this situation, please let us know again in the comments. We're all here to help each other out, learn a little bit, and just try to crush the prop market this weekend. Again, check out that PropsAI tool on the LineStar app at linestarapp.com. Best of luck to you in all of your betting endeavors. And remember, we are breaking down every single game wildcard weekend. So go check out our other breakdowns and our other prop bets on the LineStar YouTube channel. Best of luck to you guys. We'll see you next time.